Elon Musk proposed a very interesting and complex explanation about how pyramids were built. This explanation contradicts everything we know about how pyramids were built. What's even more interesting, that theory of Elon is related to the involvement of extraterrestrial life in this process, and Elon has quite interesting arguments for it. In response, Egypt invited the billionaire to travel there and verify that alien life forms did not construct the world-famous pyramids. However, most importantly, there are new findings in Egypt that disagree with Musk and finally establishes a clear picture on how the pyramids were built. The CEO of SpaceX appeared to promote conspiracy theories that claim extraterrestrials were engaged in this massive building project. However, Egypt's Minister of Foreign Cooperation does not want them to claim any of the glory. She claims that evidence would be found by visiting the tombs of the builders of the pyramids. According to historians, the tombs found in the 1990s provide unmistakable proof that these ancient Egyptians constructed the beautiful constructions. Aliens built the pyramids of, the internet tycoon tweeted. This post was retweeted more than 84,000 times. Rana al-Mashed, Egypt's Minister for International Cooperation, responded on Twitter by stating that she followed Mr. Musk and admired his work. She encouraged him, however, to look into the information more on the construction of the Egyptian pharaoh structures. In a brief Arabic video response shared on social media, Egyptian archaeologist Zahi Hawass also reacted, calling Musk's argument complete hallucination. He claimed to have discovered the tombs of the pyramid builders, proving to everyone that the pyramid builders were Egyptians and not slaves. In a later tweet, Musk did include a link to a BBC history page about the lives of the pyramid builders and wrote, "This BBC article provides a sensible summary for how it was done. There are more than 100 remaining pyramids, but the Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt, which is more than 450 feet tall, is the most well known. Most of them served as tombs for Egypt's kings, their ultimate resting places. The Giza pyramids in Egypt are among the planet's most famous and renowned structures. They are the oldest and the only one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world that are still standing. As a result, they have captivated and inspired visitors, historians, and many others for countless years. The big mystery surrounding the pyramids is how they were built. According to the Greek historian Herodotus, the Great Pyramid was constructed by 100,000 slaves who worked continuously and were replaced every 3 months by a new crew. But he was mistaken. King Khufu, the Egyptian pharaoh who oversaw the Great Pyramid's construction during the 4th dynasty, did not have access to a sizable slave population. Moreover, even if he had, 100,000 people could not have worked on one pyramid at once. Although each archaeologist uses a different approach to estimate the number of employees at Giza, most concur that about 4,000 primary workers constructed the Great Pyramid. In addition, they would have had between 16,000 to 20,000 secondary employees to assist them. This results in a total of 20,000 to 25,000 working for at least 20 years. The workforce might be further broken down into a permanent crew of around 5,000 paid workers who resided within a well-established pyramid community with their families and dependents. Additionally, there might have been 20,000 temporary labourers who came to the area to work 3 or 4 month stints and lived in a less developed camp that was built next to the pyramid settlement. According to Hawass, there are no building secrets since the Great Pyramid was constructed using the equipment that was available at Giza at the time. The earliest papyri discovered also openly show the transfer of enormous limestone blocks from the Tora quarry to Giza to construct the Great Pyramid of Khufu. Hawass believed that carrying the massive stones over wooden beam rails that had been lubricated with gooey, wet gypsum and mud was the most logical method of building. The Great Pyramid of Khufu is 146 meters tall and 6 million tons heavy. It is composed of approximately 2.3 million pieces of granite and limestone that may weigh up to 80 tons each. However, the blocks are arranged so tightly together that a piece of paper cannot fit between them, and the building is nearly perfectly level and square. According to his theory, the pyramid was likely surrounded by a ramp made of lime chips, gypsum, and calcareous clay that snaked out of a neighbouring quarry and covered all of its sides. The pyramid's construction was guided by a line routed by several holes about the size of massive plates, regularly spaced and parallel to the borders of the pyramid. To further guarantee uniformity of development and accurate alignment with true north, markers are also included for the diagonals and the centre axis of the faces. Since the 1990s, French architect Jean-Pierre Houdin has devoted all of his study to the Great Pyramid, enabling him to develop the most innovative theory about how the pyramids were constructed. According to Houdin, the Great Pyramid was constructed using two spiral ramps. The first was a spiral ramp on the outside that climbed about 30% of the way, and the second was a spiral ramp inside that was used to lift the heavy stones the remaining 30% of the way to the top. Each ramp within the pyramid ended at a notch that had been temporarily left open at its edge using Houdin's method. In this 10 square meter open space, a crane hoisted and twisted each 2.5-ton block before preparing it for 8 men to carry up the next internal ramp. In 2008, Bob Brier, a co-author of Houdin and a National Geographic film crew, explored a mysterious room that could be the start of one of those internal ramps, since it has a notch in the right place. Along with the internal ramp, Houdin has been able to explain how the King's Chamber and the Grand Gallery, the Great Pyramid's most mysterious interior, were built. The gigantic granite slabs over the King's Chamber were raised through the Grand Gallery by a long pulley system. As a result, the Grand Gallery fulfills a valuable purpose. Signs within lead credence to this idea, such as hammered holes in the stone. It is said that they help to sustain the pulley system. The advantages of Houdin's hypotheses are numerous. First, a group of computer engineers was able to verify the concept using digital technology. They confirmed that the internal ramp makes sense and that Houdin's plans for the pyramid match up mathematically. What's most impressive, though, is that they used a low-density scan of the pyramid to extract a spiral-shaped picture to locate proof that a ramp existed. They may be the remnants of an interior ramp. This idea offers the most logical justification for how the pyramids were constructed. The interior Grand Gallery chamber, which otherwise seems to have little use, may finally have an explanation according to another theory Houdin devised using his architectural model. He thinks that the gallery served as a counterweight trolley chute or guide. Raising the King's Chamber 5 60-ton granite beams made it possible. It has previously been shown by Houdin, Brier and the Dassault team that beam fractures initially shown during construction were tested at the time and were deemed to be reasonably safe. According to the materials expert Joseph Davidovitz, the pyramid's blocks were cast like modern concrete and are essentially a sort of limestone concrete rather than carved stone. According to this idea, the valley south of the GIZA plateau was utilized for soft mining limestone with a high kaolinite content. Then, the limestone was broken into a liquid slurry in enormous Nile-fed lakes. Lime, which is present in cooking fire ash, and natron, which the Egyptians also used for mummification, were also included. After that, the pools were left to dry up, creating a moist, clay-like material in their place. This wet concrete was brought to the construction site and placed in reusable wooden molds. After a few days, they underwent a chemical process resembling concrete hardening. He said the new blocks would have been set on top of and against the existing ones. Hard-proof testing using comparable materials at the Geopolymer Institution in northern France showed that 5 to 10 individuals could construct 5 blocks, weighing 1.3 and 4.5 tons apiece, in a few weeks, using standard hand tools. He also claims that the famine stele and supplementary hieroglyphic writings explain the stone clumping method. The vast majority of academics reject Davidovitz's strategy. He provides insufficient justification for the granite stones that cover the King's Chamber, which he admits were cut and weigh far more than 10 tons. Geologists carefully analysed Davidovitz's technique and determined that his concrete was built from natural limestone collected from the Makatam Formation. That's it for today. Subscribe to our channel and hit the notification.